So let's get down to the topic at hand. If you're planning projects and if you have a team meeting with a team that's supportive and intentionally focuses on covering for each other, this is the presentation that now you all as individuals, in my opinion, need to hear. So let me give you a pattern that's very, very difficult to implement. The professionals in the industry that really get this figured out have 4 things. Number 1, clarity. They know where they're going, what they want to accomplish in their life, and they know where they want to end up. 95% of the people that I ever interact with have no idea where they're going in life. The most successful people do. Number 2, the most successful people in life have the right mindset. There's a book called Mindset by Carol Dweck, and what she explains in that book, it's a fantastic book, is that people with a growth mindset that define their success from how much they're learning, not from where they have arrived, are the most successful people in life. Number 3, people with a personal organization system are the most successful in this industry, 100% hands down, meaning that they decide where they're going to spend their time, they know where they're going, they know how they're going to get there. And number 4, a morning routine. Looking at this image, oh, by the way, I saw this as a clip from Brene Brown the other day. It impacted me so much, but she said a third of the way through your life or halfway through your life, the universe or life has a way of slapping you upside the face and saying, hey, I'm not playing around. I'm not joking with you. You're halfway through. You're either going to prioritize and start doing things that matter, or you're about to waste the second half of your life. And so when you see this slide, I want you to look at it and think, do you know where you're going? Do you know what you want? Do you know what you want to end up with and what you want to have accomplished? Do you really want to have a family that's distant, to have kids that barely know you, to have missed all those baseball games, and to have a spouse that may or may not be still in love with you? I tell people in construction all the time, you as in your marriage or your partnership, you need 90 minutes of coordination time every week. You need 2 date nights every week. And you need 15 aggregate hours spent with your spouse every week. If you don't do that, there's a high chance that one day you look over at your spouse and there's a look in their eye and the look says, I don't even know you anymore. And I may or may not be in love with you. And so I just want you to know that if you think I'm being dramatic, this is going to happen. You will have a midlife crisis. You will have that time where you and your spouse fall out of love if you do not intentionally map a path. Let's dig even further. The best of the best know where they're going in the next 5 to 10 years, their big, hairy, audacious goal. They know their next big milestone and any intermediate goals along the way. And they allow their personal organization system and their morning routine to help get them there. What would it mean to you in your life if you took the time to actually get real serious about this? There's nothing more important in your life that you could do than what I'm showing you on your page right now. And if you haven't done it yet, it doesn't mean you're a bad person. It doesn't mean you're failing. It doesn't mean anything other than good. You can do it now. Number 1, what are your strengths? You will gain more traction if you maximize your strengths versus always gnawing at your weaknesses. Number 2, what are your values? So I really believe in transparency. I really believe in respecting other people. I believe in building people, always doing the right thing and giving. Here's my question for Jason Schroeder. In my marriage, can I be transparent? Can I respect and build people? And can I always do the right thing? If the answer is no, there's some alignment or some decisions to be made. At work, can I be transparent, create respect, build people, and always do the right thing? If my employer is asking me to do non-ethical things, then I am not a core value fit. I am not in alignment. Now, when you do this exercise, you would ask, what do you think you value? What would your spouse say you value? What would the janitor in your building say you value? What would your coworkers say you value? You're not going to put aspirational core values in here. You're going to put real, authentic core values in here. And once you have this done, you now know not only what you're good at, but what your values are. And now you can start to craft a remarkable life. The third step is, what do you want to be by the end of your life? This is an example from a superintendent, right? This person said, to become a general superintendent in my company, develop training programs, and to develop enough personal wealth to start off my children with businesses so they can continue the family legacy. Great. At least you know. Most people don't know, right? I had one guy say, I want to buy 100 acres and hunt the rest of my life while drinking beer. Great. Like, even though that's not my goal, at least you know what you want to do. What do you want to do? If you don't know, it's time to figure it out. When you're filling this out, you can also say, hey, what's my next 5 to 10 year goal? And then most importantly, you can find out your next milestone. So here's where the rubber meets the road. This person said they want to be a GS, which means that in the next 5 years, they want to be a senior super, which means in the next 6 to 18 months, they need to become proficient with project scheduling. Well, that's just a garbage goal that can go on in the trash can with all other New Year's resolutions, unless we plan it into our day. Now, this is where it really gets impactful, everybody. So this person said, okay, if I want to be proficient with project scheduling, I'll take a TAC planning course. I'll actively start updating my project schedule with the senior super, getting mentoring from another senior superintendent and shadow them. I'll reflect every week on how the schedule process is going, and I'll learn the last planner system. Well, that's great. That now we have some specifics on where we need to head in our life. And now it has to be plugged into our calendar. So this is where this gets really impactful. Everything that I just showed you here is just a bunch of BS unless you plug it into a timeline. Everything is the intersection of time and space. So what you'll see is this individual, everything that they had in their goals over here to the left is now plugged into a leader standard work week. Your family or yourself always come number one. Your leader standard work, or the things you need to do in your role, come second. The meetings you have to attend come third. And then the chaos of the project can come at a distant fourth and come behind all of that. So here's what I'm saying. When you create your leader standard work week, plug in stuff for you and your family first. So you see in this one, they have family time, right? Swim meet. This is one of their stay late days. This person has a goal to go running, right? Every Tuesday in the morning. This is fine because you have coverage with your team. They know you're coming in late on Tuesday, but somebody's got to be covering for you. So if you plug in your leader standard work week, yourself and your family first, then you can switch the priority. It could be yourself, family, yourself, whatever you want. But then your career goals, then your meetings, then the chaos, you will have a plan where you will find what I call the win-win. Now, if you said, hey, I'm going to plug in the project needs, then my meetings, then my leader stuff, then myself, then my family, if you switch the order, you will never win at home and with yourself, and you will never take care of your career. It will not happen because there is a never-ending supply of chaos on the project. So once you create your leader standard work, you also need to keep a to-do list. There's no such thing as I'll remember. Human beings were not programmed or designed or evolved to keep things in their head. You need a to-do list system where you get everything out of your head, preferably in one location, prioritized and clear and well described. There's a book called How to Stop Worrying and Start Living. And in that book, Dale Carnegie says, if you want to stop shaming about the past, and if you want to stop stressing about the future, you have to work in what's called day-tight compartments, meaning live that day, be present. All you're going to get by living in the future is stress, anxiety, and fear. All you're going to do by living in the past is get stress, anxiety, and fear. In fact, most of you, if you're ever like accused by your spouse, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your dog of always getting triggered and pissed off and like get into arguments and why are you mad? Most of the time, it's because you're living in the past or the future. You're worrying about things that could happen that haven't happened, and you're not living in the present. If you want to be happy, you will live in day-tight compartments. And here's how it works. Number one, when you go plan your day and you time block it on your planners, you have got to do it from your leader standard work. You remember back over here, like let's say Tuesday, I'm going to run in the morning, review the plan, do my look aheads, practice scheduling, do my lunch and learn, OAC meeting, reflection walk, family time at 5:30. That's the first thing that you plug into your day. The second thing you plug into your day is your to-do list, the things that you know are urgent and important that you need to plug in. Now, here's the key. You have to plan them with buffers. You have to be focused while you're doing something, and you've got to stay away from email as much as you possibly can. An email will take you 3 to 4 times what a verbal exchange, a text, a phone call, or a meeting could take. So if you want to save 2 to 4 hours a day, plan your day. Always have buffers between assignments, at least 15 minutes minimum. And when you're doing a task, work in one piece flow, one process flow. And if you start your day in a killer way, you'll be highly successful. So let me talk about this concept of one piece flow. Let's say you have 4 things you need to do. Probably the meeting example is my favorite one. Let's say you can prepare for the meeting, step 1, host the meeting, step 2, number 3, finish the meeting minutes, step 3, and number 4, finish any assignments that you had from the meeting. 1, 2, 3, 4. One piece flow is, hey, I'm going to go prepare the meeting, do the meeting, meeting minutes, and finish my assignments. And then, and only then, after getting a cup of coffee, I'll go do the next meeting. Batching is where you say, hey, I'm going to go prepare all my meetings for the day. I'm going to go do my meetings back to back all at once. Then I'm going to go do the meeting minutes for all of them. Then I'm going to go do all of my assignments at the end of the day. Every single time that you do this, you'll waste 15 to 45 minutes, because by the time you come back and you're like, oh, hey, wait a minute, what was I supposed to do? Oh, what were my tasks? It's going to take you time to get back into a mental frame. So this is called batching. This is called one-piece flow. But the more you can work in one-piece flow, the better off you're going to be. So if you're able to work in one-piece flow, have buffers between meetings, and really limit your email to only necessary, the best way you're going to win your day is if you have a killer morning routine. Wake up, hygiene, breakfast, do any physical items, coffee, family time. Some people like to do prayer and spiritual thought. And then what I highly recommend is that in your morning routine that you insert box breathing into your routine, because it will help you to reset. It will help you to refocus. It will help you to gain mental control, and it will provide a tool for you so that throughout the day, you can manage your distraction, you can manage your stress, and have more mental control. There's another book, actually, it's called Unbeatable Mind. He talks specifically in here about how to take control back of your mind, be in control of your time, and really show up in the right mental state wherever you show up. He is a former Navy SEAL. His book is kind of a companion to like Extreme Ownership, Jocko Willink's book, but this one specifically talks about mental control. So the question is, in your day, do you have clarity? Are you using a to-do list? Does your weekly plan have leader standard work? Do you have a morning routine? Are you time blocking your days? And do you have a plan? If you do, you can stop shaming about the past, stop stressing about the future, and you can actually feel engaged and feel relevant, connected, and feel like you're winning. That is the goal that I want for everybody. And you'll really, really win with this if you implement what I call box breathing. The other thing is when you come back at the end of a long day from your really intense workload, I hope you have an afternoon routine where you close out your assignments, you plan the next day, get your small tasks done, maybe listen to a pump-up song, and then insinuate or insert that box breathing back into your schedule. Because if you can come home feeling like you've won that day, feeling in a good mental state, you can come home and show up 100% for your family or anybody that's at home. So there are 9 key aspects of your life that have to be functioning in order for you to show up well at work. Number 1 is clarity. Do you have clarity to a compelling future? Number 2, do you have a growth mindset? And again, the book Mindset by Carol Dweck is like super impactful. Number 3, your identity. Let me give you an example of this one. If you had a foreman that was like, yeah, I didn't go to school, I'm not very smart, I don't like computers, I'm just a dummy, I got into construction because I had to, I'm not smart enough to do anything else. That identity is not going to make any kind of progress. The truth about construction foreman is I am the most important role on this project. I lead a crew of capable women and men. I am awesome. I'm a builder. I'm important to my family, to the project, and I'm a leader. And there's very few people that can do what I do. You must have a proper identity in order for you to be successful. Number 4, physical body. Number 5, mental health. Number 6, your spiritual life. Number 7, your relationships, your family and your spouse and your friends. Number 8, your career. Do you have a good path? And number 9, your finance. If you have these aspects, you will be able to set up your day with a morning routine and a day plan. You can have 2 or 3 of these that are scoring low, but you can't have 4. You cannot sustain a low score in 4 categories and still show up the way you want to at work and not be inside of a dumpster fire, inside of a building fire during an earthquake. If you start using your personal organization system, you can also start tracking your progress and get your hours down to about 45 hours a week. Every single role, I was able to get the average down to 45 hours. I was just determined. So here's the pattern. If you're like, hey, Jason, I'm not going to go home after 45 hours. Great. Let's say you're going to go home after 55 hours. You need this time to work on your career and improve your project. I would like you to track your bare minimum requirements to do your role and level it to about 45 hours a week. And then if you want to go do a proposal at the corporate office, you got time. If you want to implement lean on your project, you got time. If you want to improve the job site, you got time. So let me tell you what's going to get in your way. You are not getting distracted and derailed because of circumstance. You are getting derailed because your brain has been neurologically wired to get distracted. You are chemically addicted to distraction. I'm saying that if some of us, by nature of the food we eat, our circumstances, and this technological age, have conditions like ADHD, we do not need to add to it by adding distractions that are unnecessary. That's all I'm saying. But outside of the clinical world of neurodiversity, I'm saying inside the distractions that we are allowing, we are chemically addicted to it. Habits are formed from a trigger or a cue, a routine, and a reward. Fact. One time, I'll tell you a story. I used to fly to Salt Lake City like every week, every other week. I had done it so many times. One time I ended up in Phoenix in the East Economy parking lot, and I'm like, where in the heck is my truck? I'm out there 30 minutes trying to click my truck, and finally it dawned on me, my truck's not here. I parked it at Terminal 4. But what had happened was I had gotten off that plane and onto the SkyTrain and gone to the East Economy lot so many times, my brain took it from me and said, I'm auto-scripting this. I'm going to put it in your subconscious mind and put me on autopilot. Your brain does that with everything it can. That is the genius of the human mind. But we have to be careful to tell it what we want it to auto-script and what we want it not to. So what I had done is I got off the airplane, I got onto the SkyTrain, went to the East Economy lot, and I got into my truck. My brain released a bit of dopamine and said, oh, you're home. Now you can jam out to some music. Next time I stepped foot off the plane, got onto the SkyTrain, went to the East Economy lot, played jamming music, released dopamine in my brain. The third time it happened, my brain took it from me and auto-scripted the move. Your cells remember. I'm going to show you a pattern. This is called the 6 human needs and what's called the crazy 8 cycle. My point with this is this. Everybody has the need for certainty, variety, love, and connection, and significance. Certainty means, hey, do I have a roof over my head, money in the bank account? Do I feel fairly certain? Is the economy doing? Are things stable? Do I have a job? Variety is, hey, I need to change my circumstance. Love is, do I feel loved and connected with somebody? Significance is, do I feel significant in life? If a human being doesn't get this, they go into the sad, mad cycle. This is called the crazy 8. Human beings can't stay here very long. So if a human being doesn't get what they need and they can't get it, they'll go into the crazy 8. And if they are there too long, they'll start numbing. And this ties back to the mental health crisis that we're in. Numbing is when you have too much alcohol, illegal drugs, addictive gaming, too much work, and I'm not being irreverent when I say unhealthy sexual habits or pattern, other addictions, or death by suicide. Numbing is, hey, I don't want to feel sad, I don't want to feel mad, so I'm going to numb this. Well, that is why we are so determined to get certainty, love, and connection and significance. And we'll most of the time do anything that we need to do to get it. And so most of the time, going back to this cue, if we're working in one-piece flow at our desk and somebody comes and interrupts us, guess what? If we have any need for love and connection in our life, for significance, any need for variety at the moment, we have a need for these things, and we will start to interrupt our own needs for the good of the company or the job, get into a habit of it. Once we are appraised, oh, Johnson or Sally, hey, you were going to take that vacation, but you stayed, great job. Hey, you're going to go do that training, but you canceled and you worked instead, great job. Oh, you came and helped me with that even though you were busy doing something else, great job. Because of a human need for certainty, variety, love, and connection and significance, you will start to interrupt things that are good for you and the company, the win-win. You will start to ignore your needs and only take care of others. And eventually it will become a habit and your brain will take it from you. Just like it does driving, drying yourself off with a towel, or getting pissed off at your spouse habitually because every time you have an argument, it's auto-scripted at this point. But there is a solution. Actually, there are 6 human needs. Growth and contribution are on that list. So if you ever find yourself needing love, significance, variety, and certainty and not getting it, please don't go wandering into a system where you'll do anything to get it. And please don't get into the sad, mad cycle and start numbing. Please start focusing more on growth and contribution. If these are all human needs, can you ultimately control the certainty in your life? Can you control the stock market, your house, the weather, your job security? No. Can you, at every minute or second of the day, decide what you do and do not want to do and control your variety? No. Can you control who loves you? No. Can you control who makes you feel significant? No. But can you decide in every moment whether or not you will grow and progress? Yes. And can you contribute not only to the company, but to yourself, your family, your career, and find the win-win? And can you always be giving to yourself, your family, and the company together as an aggregate? Yes. So you don't have to normalize and habitualize always trying to interrupt what you need for the sake of the company. Because I'm telling you, no matter how good the company is, those people will forget you. The company will be fine without you. And by the time you've made it to the sad, mad cycle and started a numbing cycle, it will not have been worth it. So you have got to start prioritizing your growth, and you have got to start prioritizing the contribution to yourself, to your family, and to your work in proper proportions. You have to. So let me give you an example. Somebody comes in and says, hey, I want to tell you about the hunting trip I just had. Most of you would be like, I'm going to stop anything to talk about that. But the answer is, hey, come back at 1 o'clock. Let's say the owner's walking the project site and somebody comes in and says, the owner wants to walk with you. That's probably an I'll interrupt mine. We all already know which things we should do now and which things we should ask to do later and that we should delegate and plan later. The problem is, if you don't recognize that you're chemically addicted to distraction, and when you get to that point, you'll start to save 2 to 4 hours a day. Try planning your days. Try working in one piece flow. Try putting in buffers. Try only checking your emails at a certain time. It works every single time that it's practically implemented. All right, there we go. If you ever need anything, let me know. Thank you.